one holy and undivided Trinity. Amen. Call me a glutton for punishment, but whenever I sit down to begin thinking about preaching on a gospel text, I most always am drawn to speak on that part of the passage that I find most problematic. I always wish I could just ignore that and pretend it wasn't there. But daggone it, I can't not talk about it. So today, for me, that passage would be when Jesus says, "Do not think that I have come to abolish the law or the prophets. I have come not to abolish, but to fulfill. For truly I tell you, until heaven and earth pass away, not one letter, not one stroke of a letter," and the Greek there is the iota, the tiny little mark, is the tiniest letter of the alphabet. Not an iota will pass from the law until all is accomplished. And the reason I find that problematic is because if you're here the next 2 Sundays, you're going to discover that the gospel readings have this same Jesus uttering a series of statements that begin, "You have heard that it was told to the people of old, blah, 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 blah. But I say to you," yada, 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 yada. And the yada seems to completely upturn the understanding of the law that we all have. And to make matters worse, this same Jesus, in the same Gospel of Matthew later on, defends his disciples when they have clearly broken the Mosaic law by plucking grain on the Sabbath and by not washing their hands before they eat, eating with hands defiled. So what is going on? Is Jesus serious about the law remaining inviolate, or is he not? It would seem that he's quite adamant, and today he says, "Whoever breaks one of the least of these commandments and teaches others to do the same will be called least in the realm of heaven." And yet, as I said, if you look at Jesus' actions in this very same gospel, they look to be in stark contradiction to this statement. That is, if you look at the law with scribal and pharisaical minds. The scribes and the Pharisees definitely thought that he had broken the law. And we're often tempted to look at the law in that way, in legalistic terms. I know they come from the same word. But if we can step back and have a more holistic, a larger vision of the purpose of the law, then we can begin to see that, in fact, Jesus' actions and words aren't in contradiction to each other, but they do provide a creative tension. A seminary professor always likes to talk about dialectical tension. We see this tension throughout the New Testament. The first letter of John says, "Beloved, I'm writing you no new commandment, but a commandment that you've had from the beginning." And after a few little more statements, it says, "Yet I am writing you a new commandment." What's going on? It's this tension. Yes, we have had the law from the beginning of the Hebrew people when Moses delivered this law of God. But having ears, we have heard not. That was the challenge of the scribes and the Pharisees. Having ears, we have heard not. And Jesus goes on in that same Gospel of John to say, "A new commandment I give you, that you love one another. By this will all people know that you're my disciples, that you have love for one another." In other words, we are known as Christ followers not by the orthodoxy of our beliefs, not by our upright moral character, but only to the extent that we love one another. And it is that love which is the wild card that Jesus throws into the mix of the law. And it's that love which gives such deeper meaning to these metaphors that Jesus uses today, because love is that which provides flavor and beauty to the world, just like salt and light. Now, it's interesting, scholars remain sort of stumped about Jesus' comment about if salt has lost its taste. I was talking with somebody, I think it was Nikki, the other day, saying, well, she had read that the salt used back then was from the Dead Sea and it was adulterated with other impurities and sometimes it could go bad. But still, the truth remains, salt, as long as it is salt, retains its taste. You don't have salt losing its taste. And this, in fact, may be the point of the metaphor. That Christians, followers of Christ, as long as they are followers of Christ, retain their love. Or put another way, Christians are Christians to the extent of their love. Christians are Christians to the extent of their love. And so it is our love which is to shine, is the light that we are to let shine before all people, so that they may see the good works we do and give glory to our God in heaven. That love. Now, love not only provides taste and flavor. What else does salt do besides doing that? It's a preservative. And so that's when I began to say, maybe I get this. Maybe it's right. Maybe Jesus is right. That he hasn't come to abolish the law, but rather to salt it with love. For without love, the law is a nasty thing, used to destroy and keep people away. But love is that light also. Besides the salt and the flavor, it's the light that gives beauty. Just like light in the world allows us to see beauty. Without it, we sit in darkness, just like the scribes and the Pharisees. But with it, we feel warmth, and we see the beauty of creation all around us. Love is the light of the transfiguration. Remember the transfiguration of Jesus? We'll get it in a few Sundays. Jesus on the mountaintop, and his whole appearance is transfigured in dazzling light. Love is that light which gives beauty to everything that it touches. Love it is that gave beauty to a certain woman caught in adultery, whom everyone was ready to stone. It is love that gave beauty to another disreputable woman who was wiping the feet of Jesus with her hair. Because love allows us, it empowers us to look at what we formerly saw as despicable and frightening and call it good. Love empowers us to speak of the good thief on the cross. Think about the contradictoriness of that. Good thief. Love lets us do that. Love allows us to speak of the Good Samaritan, and that's a phrase we use with little thought. But make no mistake, the Samaritan to the ancient Israelite was the foreigner who was despised and feared. So if we want to translate that, we've got to start talking about the good Iranian or Syrian refugee, or the good undocumented alien. And it's love that gives us the power to speak of the day on which love itself was spat upon and crucified as Good Friday. A little bit of tension there. Good Friday. This salty, transfiguring light of love isn't easy. In fact, most of us struggle with it on a daily basis. And we struggle with it as a people. Can you think of any conversations going on in society today that have this tension? This whole conversation on refugees and immigrants. We have the both parts. We've got the law, which is there to protect us and to keep us safe. It's a good thing. And on the other hand, we have this salty, transfiguring light of love. And in fact, as a nation, we have made that into a national icon, haven't we? We call it the Statue of Liberty. It stands just off of our shore. And Lady Liberty holds up that transfiguring light in her hand. And we've put words into her mouth to express its significance. What does it say there at the bottom? Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free, the wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless, tempest-tossed, to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door. This salty, transfiguring light is not an easy thing. And I might add, it's not a safe thing. In fact, it leads to death. It leads to the death of our prejudices and stereotypes. It leads to the death of pat answers. And it leads to the death of our certainties. But if we're willing to enter into that death, we will be raised from stereotypes and prejudices. We will be raised to the joy and wonder of the diversity of God's creation. From pat answers, we will be raised to discerning questions. And from all of our certainties, we will be raised to ultimate mystery. And when we find our feet on that shore, then, and only then, will we be able to respond to Jesus' challenge in our gospel today. On that shore, we ourselves will be the salt of the earth and the light of the world. Amen.